There has just been a Steam policy update that is actually pretty big. It shows that the payment processors like Visa and Mastercard actually could have a very big influence going forward on what games are and are not allowed on the Steam platform. This is kind of scary depending on how you look at it. I mean, to my knowledge, this is the very first time that Valve has actually acknowledged that they are going to, follow the rules and regulations set by these big payment processing companies, and they expect other game publishers to do the same. So anyway, this comes from their onboarding page. I will link it in the description. Basically, onboarding, this is like a type of process that game publishers have to go through in order to get their game on Steam and more specifically get paid from their game being on the platform. So anyway, I don't know when exactly this was updated, but just today this was picked up on Reddit. A lot of people are talking about it. So it all comes from this set of rules that is called What You Should Not Publish on Steam. There's 15 of them. Big surprise, we're not going to go through all 15. Instead, we're actually going to skip to the very bottom one, the 15th one. That is the one that caught the eye of somebody that was paying attention. So again, this is what you should not publish on Steam. So Rule 15 says, content that may violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet network providers. In particular, certain kinds of adult-only content. So just to recap, this is Valve saying that on Steam, you should not post any games that are going to violate the rules and conditions that apply to the payment processors that Steam uses. Obviously, the big two here are Visa and Mastercard. And they do specifically call out certain kinds of adult-only content. I'm sure we can probably take a good guess on what those certain kinds of adult content would be. Now, this is very important for anybody that uses Steam, not just publishers, but also gamers, because it shows that these big payment processing companies are now in a position where Steam is basically acknowledging that they are going to follow the rules of these payment processors. Now, there's a lot of different reasons why this could happen and why we're hearing about this right now, because it's probably the case that Steam has been following these rules for some time and just hasn't been so vocal about it, but now they're coming out and, they're saying exactly what we read, that we do have to follow these rules now. It seems to me that the reason is due to an increase, maybe not just on adult-only games, but also on these more risque, more certain types of adult-only content that maybe push the boundaries, stuff that maybe Visa and MasterCard aren't going to be very comfortable with, so that's why Steam is addressing it now. And maybe it's the case where Visa and MasterCard reached out to Steam and said that, you need to address this in some way. So this is their some way that they are handling this. It is interesting though, because Visa and MasterCard do have a tendency of restricting content like this, or content in general that could put them in hot water, could make them look bad. So this actually happened with a certain adult hub website. I'll call it the Hub. This was in 2020, 2021, and also the same thing happened for some website that like sells fans, like ceiling fans or something. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, basically both of those websites had something similar. Basically, Visa and MasterCard or some sort of a big payment processing website or platform. I think it was probably at least both of them. They had a problem with some of these, I guess, categories or some content that was alleged to be really pushing the boundaries or maybe even going over the line. They didn't like it, so basically these two websites, the Hub and the fan website, they had to purge all of this really, over the line content. What this means for Steam is that they might have to start doing this with some of this adult-only content. Definitely not all of it, but some of it. I mean, I'll be completely honest, I haven't played any of these games, but I would assume that some of them are really pushing the boundaries. I would assume that because I think that's probably why we are seeing this now from Steam, and more importantly from Visa and MasterCard. But do we have a reason to worry? Like, if you're like me and you don't really care about adult-only games, I mean, do we still have a reason to worry about censorship, maybe Visa, won't like the new GTA 6 with all the blood and gore or something. Is it going to be something like that? Oh, probably not. But is that a possibility? I mean, I suppose it's never not a possibility. It does show, though, that now things have gotten to a point, for whatever reason, we can only speculate, but things have now gotten to a point where Steam, they have officially publicly acknowledged that they and all publishers have to go by these big payment processing guidelines. As for what this means right now, I think these really risky adult-only games will probably get removed or probably get heavily censored. As for what it means going down the road, we will just have to wait and see.